All right. So today we have Ben and Chris on the podcast. Now, do that again. I love it. You guys
Yeah,
do it
throw it
all the
up, throw it
time.
up.
So thank you guys for joining the podcast today. You guys run your business, which is Onobowls. Please tell to the listeners who you guys are, what you guys do, and yep, let's take it.
Take it away, dude.
All right, so we are Ben and Chris, the Ono Bros, who work at the Ono Bowls food truck. Started out as 18-year-old entrepreneurs, and Chris had this idea: let's change the storefront into a truck location, and that's just what we did.
Basically, we both started with this idea. It was going into our senior year of high school, and we're going to be sophomores in college now. But I came up to Ben. We were working a shift together at the Ono Bowl store in Westfield, which we didn't own. We just worked there for like 4 years. And I said, Ben, what would we need to do to turn this store into a mobile food truck location and just bring it wherever the demand is? And we literally just took 2 paper plates in the store and just wrote with Sharpies all our ideas for this truck. And 6 months later or so, we pitched the idea to our boss, and we had the truck shipped over, and we made it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say that your boss is being kind of your mentor at this point?
Definitely. That's, if we didn't need her help to start this business, we wouldn't even be under the Ono Bowls name.
Yeah.
We would have just done it ourselves, but she helped so much. I know she owned a food truck before the Ono Bowl store. You worked on it.
Yeah.
So tell her a little bit.
So our boss, who's now our partner, Patricia Caminos, she owned a truck called That Juice Truck that I worked on before she even had Ono Bowls. So from day one, she was our mentor. Like, I can't even describe how much help she was for us, especially at the beginning. We had to use her house as like our main base so she can mentor us and teach us like what to do and what not to do. Yeah. And how to really make sure you're not spending too much money on things you don't need to spend too much money on, so then you don't have a lot of debt to make up.
She's like a frugality master.
Yeah.
We probably would have ended up spending twice as much as we did if we didn't have her like helping us find freezers and refrigerators that were used and like super cheap. We originally wanted like a 20-foot truck.
Yeah.
We were thinking way too big. She's like, you don't need all that. Like, you need like a 10-foot truck tops. Now we have a trailer that's 8 feet by 6.5 feet. Like, you don't need any of that space. So she really helped us downsize and just maximize what we were working with.
Got it. So your story is super inspirational because, you guys are in high school, you have your entrepreneurial caps on, and you're like, you know what, like, let's start this. And you guys write down everything in paper plates, which I think it's a great story to tell, the future generations. And and I have nephews that are about your age, right? And they're finishing high school and they're like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. Like, do I even want to go to college? Especially with the whole coronavirus, right? They're like, do I really want to go and spend all that money? So you guys just took initiative. I always say, like, ideas are just ideas unless you go and act and go for it. So I also saw some of your videos on both TikTok and Instagram, and I want to applaud you guys for giving back to the community.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, first responders are, the reason why we're still running this country at this point. Yeah. So tell us a little bit, how did that come about and what you guys were doing?
Yeah, of course.
That was literally our opening to season 2 of Ono Bowls food truck was that bowl drop off to those first responders. So for the listeners that don't know what that is, we during the whole, like, the peak of the quarantine, we just spent, I don't know, $200.
Yeah, $250
just on making bowls, and then just driving it around town to like urgent cares, doctors' offices, like the rescue squad, like Cranford, because these people are like, they're stressed out. It's a very, very tense time where they're just constantly helping people. So we really just wanted to give back, and it worked out because at that point in time there was really no demand for our product. So we were just like, okay, we might as well give it away for free and then just like start our season 2 now and then kind of put it out there. So we had a lot of fun doing it. It felt really good.
And then
What was
along
the
with
feedback? Go ahead.
no, my bad. I was gonna say along with that, a lot of people gave to us our first season, so we felt it'd be a great way to kick off our second season by giving back to all the people that gave to us because we really needed all that support up front.
Definitely. We, because we had people before anyone really knew what the Onobowls food truck was, we had our friends booking us for their graduation parties because we were seniors in high school at the time. Like if we didn't have these people getting us off the ground, like we would have people in Normandy Beach that would just buy 10 bowls from us and give us a $50 tip because they saw our hustle. They saw us delivering bowls on the beach. If we didn't have all this good energy coming our way, we wouldn't have made it. So then all you have to do is put that good energy back. You got to have faith in the universe in that way, you know?
Yeah, I believe karma. 100%. So what was the feedback when you guys were showing up at, fire stations or hospitals, urgent care units with your famous bowls? What was the feedback, the reaction?
Honestly, it was great. It was nice to put a smile on their faces. Everyone who we went to seemed exhausted, so it was great to finally like crack a smile on them, give them some healthy food. Because our product as well, like it's great for this time because it's actually food that's going to help you get your immune system up and get your body ready to try and fight the virus if you do get it.
That's true. And they got hyped when they saw.
They really did. They really got so excited.
Like six acai bowls. They're like, "Ooh, let's go!"
Yeah, because they didn't know about it either. So like, because Chris called every place beforehand the night before and said, "Don't tell your workers, but tell them not to bring lunch tomorrow." Yeah. So when we did come, they're like, "What is this? Like, what are we getting right now?" It'd be the bowls. That was great.
Awesome. Where did you guys get the money from? To start the business.
You got that one.
We had about $1,000 each.
Yeah, that's about it.
Like from his bank account and my bank account, and then we had roughly $9,000 in a loan from our boss Trish at the time. So she was when we pitched the idea to her, she was not only our mentor, but like the reason we needed the okay from her is just because she was loaning us the money. So and she helped us secure the loan, and she really believed in us. Like she saw something in ourselves that we didn't even see in ourselves at that time. We just kind of threw the idea at her, and she said, "I have full faith in you guys. Like it's going to be a hustle. Are you sure you want to do this? Do you know what you're in for?" And we were like, "I don't know what I'm in for, but I'm doing it." And then we broke even in the beginning of August last summer, so that felt really good. And then we've been making profit ever since. And so it was definitely worth it. It definitely worked out.
Well, I love the fact that you guys broke even the first year, because especially with food, like restaurants and food trucks, you'll hear that either they go out of business or it takes them like 2-3 years to even break even. So for you guys to accomplish that in the first year, I think it goes back to being cautious of your money and knowing where to spend it and how to spend it.
Exactly.
There's so many things, especially in the restaurant industry, that you could spend your money on that you think that you need and you kind of just don't think about it. Like if you're buying a brand new equipment for your restaurant, all right, like it makes sense, that's what you would first think to buy, but that puts you back probably in twice as much debt as you would have to be. Yeah. Whereas if you buy used equipment, you're spending half the money, maybe even less. If something breaks, like it probably will, but you'll have the revenue to fix that because you'll be selling, Right. And
No, exactly. So like what the difference, like what Chris is saying is basically it's raw versus refined. So when you're first starting, we consider our first season very raw. We just wanted to get out there, get out of the way of the debt. Now this season we can, we have the money to actually spend stuff like do donations, get better equipment. Like we bought ourselves a new blender. It even matches the truck color. It's hot pink. We love the theme.
Right.
But like stuff like that is something that you should be aware of your first year. You can't just expect to go in with the most high-end equipment. You need to start your base, get the ground running.
It's raw.
It's very raw.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then as the business goes on, you get refined. So the little things, the little touch-ups that you couldn't get to your first year because you were just hustling, you're trying to sell. Then once you have the money to actually fix stuff, you could go and refine and make everything look nice. Like we spent money on new stickers this year. We have flowers like inside the truck. Like we would have never thought of that our first year because we were running up and down the beach shoving menus in people's faces on the bowls. you know, so you have to make people aware of what you are first, and then actually try to fulfill your vision. And then once you have the money and the freedom and the actual time to refine your business, you can go and do that, and it feels really good.
So you guys are in college right now, right? Well, now it's summer, but you're attending college. How do you guys find the balance between being entrepreneurs and still attending college?
I'm sorry, I'll go.
Yeah.
So basically, when we're in college, it's kind of like our off season, so it's more of our preparation stage. So the balancing it's a lot easier on that side, because what we're doing is basically doing all the networking, connecting with other businesses, trying to set up for the next year, or planning out how we're going to improve the business. Like this winter, me and Chris would work endless hours planning out what area, like what other businesses in our area we should connect with for this upcoming season, without the knowledge of COVID. So with that, there's a lot of things that we prepare for ahead of time, which is what we do. And that's how it's more of a balance that way, because if we were doing catering events, it'd be a lot harder to do.
It's a good dynamic. It's pretty simple to find a balance, because obviously, you know, when we're at college, we're doing our schoolwork, but whenever we have free time, aside from our social lives and academic lives, we're planning on the business. Like he said, we made a list of probably like 35 contacts of just local businesses that we could collaborate with and sell at their shops, or do some kind of catering event with them over the summer. So that's like during college, we're students, but we're in the preparation phase of our next season of the Onobowls food truck. And it helped a lot. And then, you know, COVID hit, and we just had to completely rebrand. But you always just got to have that mindset, because if we just kind of hung out in college and then expected to just get off the couch and like restart the Onobowls food truck, neither one of us would feel comfortable doing that. Another huge part is social media marketing. So when we would come back for winter break and all the breaks, we would just sit in the Onobowls store and make videos, content. So then we were good for the whole time we were in college to just post videos and keep our social media running, so people would not forget about us and say like, oh, look, we're still here. Like we're coming, like come May, we're going to be booked for catering
Just
events.
wait
like,
for it.
Yeah. So that kind of just helped us stay on the ball. So yeah, we probably made like 40 videos and pictures just to post for social media stuff. A lot of that.
So let's talk about marketing, right? You just touched that subject. So are you guys going to school for marketing? Where do you get inspiration? Like, do you guys follow any special blogs, podcasts, accounts? What? Tell me.
So I'm a finance major at the University of Maryland. Ben goes to University of Delaware. He's a food science major.
Yeah.
So it's a good complement. You know, I'm very good at the accounting and the business, like money side of it. And then this kid just knows literally every flavor profile, like everything about food. So,
yeah.
We're both really into marketing. I guess we're just really sociable guys, and we've been very involved with the Onobowls franchise, like social media marketing for our whole time. Even when we were employees there, we were making videos for the store. So now we just kind of translated that to our truck.
Yeah. Along with that, so I've been focused, like one of my primary goals with the truck, like Chris again handles most of the business end and networking. I handle most of the social media. The biggest thing we found is a new aspect, which I think I've actually, like you were saying, who we listen to. I listened to a little bit of Gary Vee. I have been for several years. I like his attitude about a lot of things, and I like his persistence and about content. And I've tried to adapt that same mentality about anything can be content. Like we'll be literally sitting in the truck. We're like, all right, you're about to eat a bowl. Let's make a video out of it.
Yeah.
And that's where our TikTok presence came. Our TikTok has gone up exponentially just because of the videos that we just keep revealing, because people love to see what they either want to have or want to try. And that's what our truck brings. So we even have videos. It's literally just us making bowls. One video has 1.3 million views. It's called A Day in the Life of an Ono Bro. Our account went from about 200 followers to 18,000 in less than a month, just because we're just producing this content that people want to see. And you can it's kind of about, you have to understand the trends and just understanding what your market wants to see.
I think our first viral video on TikTok was like, it was just me making a bowl.
It was
me making a pitaya bowl. Like that's the whole mentality, is everything is content. And so then when we're just like on the truck or we're at a catering event, we're like, oh, like, let's go take it. Like, we get the people to come in the picture. Like, we take pictures of who we're serving with. It's very interactive. Of course, everybody loves to be on our Instagram. We tag them. And then that's an automatic follow to our Instagram because they're on our Instagram now, like in our picture.
Exactly.
So we've really seen this. That's kind of the other refined mentality of season 2. We really see this networking and this constant focus around content and social media promotion. It really just helped us grow a lot.
Exactly. And it also builds a sense of community, because if you really interact with these people, they'll be more likely to refer you to other people about, yo, these kids are really interactive. They love what they do. Hire them for your next event. Instead of someone who's just like, yeah, they showed up, served their stuff and left. We like to be very interactive and create an experience.
Go ahead.
We try to get at least one more catering event at every catering event that we're at. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Never ending. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, with Ben was talking about the community, right? It's especially for small businesses and local businesses like yourself, you need that community, that close community, and then you can scale your business. They can help you, get referrals, get more clients, and that way you can perhaps next year you can have the second truck, or who knows.
Yeah, that's really you mentioned scalability. That's really what we're trying to focus on now. I mean, obviously now we're focused on our catering events, like and promoting. But this constant growth, we're really looking down the road, trying to figure out how to scale this business without losing that sense of community. So that's really like stage 5 or like stage 6, really like end of season 2, start of season 3 type. I don't know.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the goal? What's the big picture? I know you guys are super, super local in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're in 3 or 4 towns. You can tell me more about that, but let's fast forward 5 years from now.
Yeah. So basically, what you were saying, so those 3 or 4 towns, that was primarily for like our delivery system, just because that was like also how we got the ground running this season, by doing deliveries on weekends. But we do a lot of catering across New Jersey. Like even every Sunday we go down to Pop's Coffee in Ortley Beach, New Jersey, and Tom's River, and we're trying to build a community there. But as for 5 years, we're just thinking, how can we make more local community sectors where we can have these catering events at a high scale with multiple trucks?
So the catering has really helped us branch out, because we literally do catering events all around New Jersey. We were in Ocean City. We have a stationary spot in Ortley, like Ben was saying, at Pop's Coffee. So that's like a down the shore community. We did, Flemington, Randolph, like all over New Jersey, we're doing catering. So that really helps us kind of get our brand out there. And we're really starting to see demand sprout in different areas of New Jersey. So now we have like Northern Jersey, we have the down the shore, and then we have catering everywhere. So here comes the scalability part, is that me and Ben, hopefully, over the years, this is probably a big next summer sort of thing, because we really like working the cart, so we don't want to get away from it too fast. But I think next summer we're gradually just going to try to take our hands off of it. Maybe he'll work one day with an employee, I will work one day with a different employee, right? So there's still one of us, and then we keep this going, and then we basically can find franchise owners in the Onobowls food truck. And if somebody is willing to hustle and they know how to work on the truck, and they've been working as a manager for us on the truck we have now, we would be happy to start them off with a new truck. And then hopefully, if we just keep up this promotion, this social media stuff, the demand's gonna keep going up, and it's gonna be too much for our one truck to handle. So, by the end of next summer, we might have another truck, and with one of our close friends that was working as a manager for us on the Onobowls food truck can start their own Onobowls food truck number 2. And then we'll advertise that, and we could kind of just run it out of a warehouse where we get our acai delivered, we get our produce delivered. And then, we have company trucks that could tow the trailers. And so that's the vision. It's obviously going to take a while. We're definitely not too antsy to get there, because we really are enjoying this process, but that is the end vision.
Yeah, definitely patience. Ben mentioned it earlier. Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. He talks about patience, and you guys are. I mean, you guys are babies, and you guys are super, super young, man. So patience for sure. So Chris, you were talking about hiring more people. Hopefully next summer. What are those values that you're looking to when you start hiring people? Obviously hardworking it's key, but
Mm.
what else do you see that is non-negotiable when you start hiring people?
That's a good
Oh, that's
question.
like excellent. That's excellent.
Because like we've had so many people ask us to work on the truck, I can't even count. But it's because like everybody wants a shift on the Ono cart. Like it's a fun job, we sling fruit, we make smoothies, and we talk to girls. Like it's a fun job. Like, and I understand like a lot of people want to work with us, and the whole content, like social media creation thing, makes the job even more fun. So I get like the wanting to have fun with the job part is huge, but we really need people who are going to be dedicated to the spread the health vision. So that's our slogan, is spreading the health. I don't want somebody who's just in it because, driving around in a pink cart and serving fruit looks good and it looks really fun. It is. And like, I totally understand why people are asking us for jobs on the cart, but we really need some people with the vision and dedication to actually be committed to the hustle of, I don't want to sound cliche, but of spreading the health. Like they need to be willing to hustle up and down the beach like me and Ben did season 1, when they're $10,000 in debt, and shove menus in people's faces. They need to be willing to constantly be networking and promoting the social media accounts. Anything else?
Yeah, I was gonna say just very business conscious.
Yeah.
Even like so we weren't like when we worked with Patricia Caminos before, we weren't per se business conscious, but we understood what it would potentially take to get involved in something like this. Just has to have someone who's not willing to quit.
Yeah.
So like Chris was saying, someone who's very persistent, has a vision. They have to have vision about like what it could become, not what it is right now. Because that's what we had. When we first got the truck, we looked at it and said, what did we just get ourselves into? And we were just grinding and constantly trying to improve it. So it's a very rough road, and they have to understand there will be ups and downs.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want that. Like, so as far as an employee goes, if they're just going to be working on the truck, they got to be organized and they got to be really social, because it's a very interactive business.
Right.
And so you have fun with it. If they're going to take on a manager role and then maybe like actually get their own truck and be 50-50 partners with us, we would love to have somebody do that like in the future. That's totally what we want. But if they're going to take on that role, they just got to know what they're getting themselves into.
Exactly.
And really just be about the constant promotion, and know that it's always a hustle to keep improving this business and finding catering events, finding locations where you can sell. So they just really got to be in touch with that. And then we're set. I think that's really good.
Yeah. So tell me about the truck. I saw in one of the videos, it was a little bit of a process, for lack of better words. I know you guys were blindly, you started having meetings with suppliers in China. When you got the truck, quote unquote, wasn't really what you guys expected, using a lot of Google Translate and stuff like that. So yeah, tell us about that process.
So that was it. So I handled a lot of the the information being dealt with in China, while Chris handled a lot of the information in America, trying to get the permits and insurance settled.
So how's your Mandarin? Or Cantonese?
Yeah, it's still not good. It's still not good. I use Google Translate a lot. Because once we found out we'd have to get it from China, which took about 2 months. Like we were just researching at this point. This is still in the winter, because finding the truck, we wanted that shape. So we realized I called pretty much, I think, someone like who's a manufacturer of like trailers in America in almost every state, just saying like, can you please try and make something like this? Like we don't do that. They sent me a picture of like a square, and I'm like, I don't want this.
We didn't want a box trailer.
That's our whole point. Yeah, exactly. For an empty shell. So then I started going on to Alibaba, and I'm like looking around. I contact 6 other guys, and I finally find this person. I think it's like Tony Zhang. It could have been. I went through so many names. But it was hard because you can't talk to them until it's nighttime here, like around like midnight. So I'd be taking my AP calculus, finishing my homework then going down to my basement and then start typing. Like I would create a list with Chris the day before, say, what do we need to ask? Where do I want this positioned in the truck? Because we organized everything down to how deep the sinks were to where the counter got cut off so we could put the bain-marie in.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of little logistics that if we messed up when it came here, it would have been terrible. We would have looked at it and been like, well, now we had to hire a contractor because like you can't just cut metal in half ourselves, even though we would if we could.
So there was the whole aspect of planning out the layout of the trailer, which is like most people wouldn't even know how to do that. So that's why we feel comfortable talking about this right now, is because finding the supplier for the trailer was hard enough. Like that was literally a needle in a haystack. And then once we actually found someone who could build it, we had to know exactly how long the counter was going to be, because we had to put a 27-inch bain-marie, like the refrigerator for our fruit. We had to install that once the cart was shipped here. We had to install the freezers. So I was literally in the Ono Bowls basement measuring out the chest freezer, like height, depth, width, because we knew we had to install that in the truck. And then we had, like you said, the sink height. So that was great. We perfectly mapped that out. The layout is still the same today. We love it. It is super efficient. We drew it up in my basement, literally with tape and like string, and measured it out exactly how the cart was going to be laid out. So we knew that was great. But yeah, I'm sure you heard about on our videos when the cart actually came in the warehouse. And we had to that was the process.
Yeah, that was very stressful.
That was something we couldn't plan for and we couldn't account for, which is why we were really thrown off. But that was one of our biggest roadblocks we've ever hit, like in our whole duration of being business owners. And it actually made us a lot better at handling adversity. Tell them what happened.
All right. Yeah. So I thought I asked the manufacturer and the warehouse to disassemble the big box that came in, put the tires on, and put the hitch so we could go in and roll out with it. But when we got there, the first thing I was concerning is they came out with a forklift with our truck on it in a big box. So I'm like, all right, that's a little concerning. Maybe it's just put together inside. Then we crack open the box a little bit. We see that it's still wrapped in bubble wrap. And then I see an AC unit sitting outside of it with attached to nothing. So first thing we realized, the AC unit snapped in half. Second, there were no tires on it. And third, there's the front of the hitch where the ball would attach to our car. That part wasn't attached to the trailer either. So we were sitting in this warehouse where, one, we weren't even supposed to be allowed to open this box, but someone recognized Chris's shirt. It was Pace.
Nick Pace. He was a Cranford High School alumni. So yeah, he let us open the box in the middle of the warehouse, which is like frowned upon.
Which is very because it's a constant cycle in motion of getting things in and out because they have to be efficient. So we were doing that, which was already wrong, but now we had to assemble a trailer inside this warehouse with a bunch of random people. This one guy, what was his name? Jose. He was running back and forth on this little driving cart, picking up nails and stuff because the truck was missing that as well to install the hitch. So he was installing that for us, putting things together. Me and Chris were rotating these jacks down to put the tires on. Yeah. It was basically just a chaotic.
It was
like I don't know how to describe it.
It was an hour and a half of just like improvised construction of the cart. So we had to put the wheels on because you can't ship the cart with wheels on it. Like overseas, that makes sense. It would roll around, but we didn't think of that. Like, what do we know? So we had to screw on the wheels like with our hands. There was no tools. We had to screw on the bolts. And then when he says the trailer hitch, it's like a V-shaped bar that attaches the trailer to my car, like to the actual hitch ball on my car. So we had to screw that in with the bolts with our hands as well, and with the help of Jose, who had like a wrench, I think. And then, so we eventually got it all like kind of tight enough to get pulled away. So then we could finally like attach it to my car and then just roll out with it. But we were driving with no turn signals at all because we had to get another attachment to my car, like that hooks up wires to the trailer so that my blinking signals and turn signals actually sync up with the trailers. So we drove for like a day or two with the cart with just no turn signals, no brake lights. So that was just another roadblock. That was just another thing we had to do. That's why when we actually obtained the trailer, in June, we didn't sell till a month later because there was just so many things we had to get worked out because the cart was just in shambles. But now, if we order another one, we know exactly what to account for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What to not install.
Yeah. What to not get from China and what to do here.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I also saw on your, I think it was Instagram, that you guys are using paper straws, right?
Hay straws.
Yep. There you go. Tell us about, that initiative and definitely being eco-friendly.
Yeah, so I'm a very big environmental guy, and I've kind of persuaded Chris as well. So now we're both very big on eco-conscious delivery and service. So all our bowls are plastic compostable, which is good to a respect, but what we've tried to do is reduce our carbon footprint as much as possible. So that started with these straws. It honestly was a lot of research as well. We finally found them, we test trialed them, and they hold up. They're not like paper, so they're actually made out of hay. And they're actually straight off the chute. They cut them up, and then they put them into, it's just a straw. And that holds up very well. We try and reduce food waste as much as possible by ordering precisely when it comes to like regular, like fresh produce, because you don't want to over order and then dispose of it.
We order produce like every other day that we're selling just because we need to nail. Like we literally say, okay, within this 2-day period, we're going to be serving 150 people. So we're going to order 150 bananas. That's it. and then we do that for strawberries, blueberries, and pineapple as well. Literally we're so precise with it. We're getting so good at it that by the end of the day, when we're all at it, when we're done serving, we literally have a spoonful of pineapple left that I just eat. So it's no food waste at all. And so we really pride ourselves on that.
That's awesome. So Ben, question, since you're the health and the food savvy over here, why acai? Tell us, I'm not familiar. I see it in stores in supermarkets, but I'm not very familiar with it. So cool. If you can just tell us a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So Ono bowls in general, we use a lot less sugar. So where we started out to begin with, we have a manufacturer who makes us our acai custom made. Same one that Playa uses, but everyone has their own individual recipe. Ours is just pure acai and then a few other agents and only all natural cane sugar, which not only is better for your body because your body can actually process raw and unrefined sugar better than refined sugar because it's bigger particles and the glycerol is easier to break down. But also, like some place like Pliables blends their stuff. When they say freshly blended, it doesn't mean it's only acai. They put the bananas, the apple juice, anything that'll help it like more. It'd be more like smoothie-like. That's why they call it smoothie bowls as well. And that actually adds a lot more sugar. So our bowls on average are only about 340 calories and have a max of 20 grams of sugar, whereas like something like Pliables is about 45 grams. Granted, they use a lot of Nutella as well. We make our own homemade chocolate sauce, which again that came from me and Chris. We're like, all right, we don't want to use Nutella. And then we had a manufacturer in Hawaii who made Mac Nutella, but again, the expenses were too much. We wanted to make something homemade, healthy, and something that consumers would love. So we're very health oriented. We want to reduce the amount of sugar and make it natural sugar if we can.
Yeah, great.
I know that was a lot to throw at you, but like that was basically the gist of it.
No, but that's a great 101 on acai. Like this is what it is, benefits.
People come to the food truck all the time and ask us like, what do you blend your acai with? Yeah. Is your granola gluten free? And so I'm really good at like giving them like a summary, just like of why ours is healthier. Our acai blend by itself is 100% acai. It's not watered down with like apples or bananas. It has half the sugar or less per bowl, and then just the acai as well. And people come up and they say, is your granola gluten free? And it's kind of like, it shouldn't even be a question because all granola should be gluten free because all our granola is oats, flax seeds, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, and coconut flakes, and then sweetened with a little bit of agave and it clumps it together. Totally gluten free. The only reason that like other acai places like Pliables and other granolas aren't gluten free is because they're derived from like cereal type grains. You're literally eating cereal in your acai bowl. Like you might as well put like Captain Crunch in there. So like, literally. So like the fact that these stores have that and then try to play like the health card too, it's pretty inconsistent when you really get down to the nutritional value of what they're serving.
Yeah, it's very misleading, especially like cereals and stuff like that when you go to the supermarket. like special K. You know, it's supposed to be healthy for you,
Yeah.
but it's a bunch of sugar and crap in
Yeah.
there. So you don't like. You definitely don't want to eat that.
Mhm.
So, you know, we're getting to the top of the half an hour here, guys, and I just want to thank you again for making the time and talking to me and talking about your journey as a business owner. So I want to leave the floor open for you guys to talk about, you know, anything that you have going on the remaining of the summer. Uh, Definitely catering, where we can find you on all social media. So the floor is all yours.
Awesome. Yeah, so definitely gonna hit as many catering events as we can. Just find us on social media. Onobowls Food Truck is our Instagram and Facebook, and then Ono Bros is our TikTok. Um, as far as locations, obviously, like I said, we do catering all around New Jersey. Wherever you can find us, just book us. And then we have a down the shore location on Fifth Avenue in Ortley Beach, outside this new coffee shop, very good coffee called Pop's Coffee. So that is like our stationary location every Sunday, Fifth Ave, Ortley Beach, and then every other Saturday. Anything else?
Yeah. I mean, I guess for the mission for the rest of the summer, as Chris said, is catering events. So we're just trying to branch out, get our name out there, continue networking, doing our thing, and just bringing a bigger sense of community to the community, to all of New Jersey. We want to make sure we want to bring Jersey strong. We're very supportive of Jersey. We're proud of being from Jersey. We just want to bring everyone together and then serve out some really healthy bowls.
Spread the health.
What are the prices on the catering for those that are interested?
Yeah, I'm usually
Yeah, I use the catering.
I send everybody like their price breakdowns and whatnot. So roughly, it's depending on the event, it's like $10 per person, like at the party, and then depending on the drive, there's like a $50 to $150 driving fee. So then you add that up, and that's basically your price. It's pretty simple. Yeah.
Got it. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for your time. I really appreciate it. And no, my pleasure, my pleasure. And you know, keep it up. Super proud of having you on the podcast.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks,
we appreciate
brother.
it.
All right.
Catch you later, man.
Later.